Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Ryan Cataldo. I'm the founder of the Take a Closer Look podcast. And in this video, I just wanted to officially welcome you all to the channel and tell you a little bit about my goal and what my vision is for the podcast. So, for about the last 10 years, I've been on a journey of studying academically early Christianity, the historical Jesus, and their roots in ancient Judaism. And so, I just want to invite whoever else is interested in this sort of thing to join me on this journey. And what I'm not looking to do is give just simple, like Sunday school answers to religious questions. But as a scholar in training myself, I want to know, how do historians and the top-notch experts in these fields, how do they approach these ancient religious texts? What kind of methods do they use when they analyze them? And what kind of conclusions can we come away with when we take an academic, uh, historical approach to the Bible and other historically related texts? And so this journey began at around age 20 when I came to Christ and I became a Christian. And I don't want to use this video to share my testimony, so I'll make a long story short. So I actually did not have a religious upbringing. In fact, my parents never took me and my siblings to church growing up. I had never been to mass or church service or anything like that. And I'm actually grateful for that because when I got older, I didn't associate religion with this burdensome thing that was forced upon me growing up. And so after experiencing the emptiness of life and doing everything that I thought would make me happy and always coming up short, I decided one day that I was going to go to church for the first time on my own. And not to sound corny, and I hate that this sounds corny, but I had a God moment. And I remember the pastor preached a message that, man, like it really spoke to my life. I mean, it completely described my life to a T. And I remember interpreting that as a sign that God was trying to communicate with me. And it was a few other things that I interpreted as signs too, leading up to that. And I remember walking out of church that day, a changed man. I felt for the first time filled up. I felt content inside. And so I knew something happened to me. And I really think it's what St. Augustine taught, that our hearts are restless until they rest in him. I believe that happened to me. And so I knew something changed. I knew God changed my life, and I was filled up for the first time ever. But my rational, skeptical mind was always asking the questions: how do you know that your religion is true, Ryan? If you were born in India, wouldn't you be a Hindu? Or if you were born in the Middle East, would you be a Muslim? Is there any actual evidence for what you believe? I mean, what can we say historically about Jesus of Nazareth? And so I wanted to search out my faith as much as I possibly could, and this started a kind of obsession in me that never stopped. And I went from being a kid who barely graduated high school to now getting my PhD in Second Temple Judaism and early Christianity at Hebrew Union College in Cincinnati. And so, yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at, and I have access to all these great experts, and I'm hoping to have them on the show and the podcast and interview them and get into all these biblical questions together, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I know a lot of you are probably wondering, well, why, as a Christian, are you studying at a Jewish university? And so now I want to take you on a little tour around the historic institution of Hebrew Union College, tell you a little bit about it and how I landed there. All right, guys, here we are, Hebrew Union College, Cincinnati, Ohio, the oldest Jewish seminary in America. If not, it's definitely the oldest Reformed Jewish seminary in America. It was established in 1875, so they've been ordaining rabbis here for over 100 years. So it's a legendary college. Actually, I'm studying with the last class of rabbis. They're actually ending the rabbinical program, which has been a tragedy, and it's caused an outrage, but that's what the Board of Governors decided to do, so it is what it is. I'll turn the camera around here so you could see the college. It's a beautiful, intimate little campus. One awesome thing about studying at HUC is that although I'm a graduate student, there is a rabbinical program here, obviously, as I just mentioned. So as grad students, we get to study alongside the rabbinical students. And they have an awesome understanding of the Talmud and the Midrash and the Mishnah and all that stuff. And you know, I have a good friend here, Jonathan, that I talk to a bunch, and he teaches me things that blow my mind and things that really shed light on the New Testament, and they actually help when, you know, wanting to study the historical Jesus. So this is the learning building right here, called the Herman Learning Center. We got 2 museums on campus. This one is the Jewish American Archives. Literally thousands and thousands and thousands of documents. It's crazy. They have the first, I think it's called the telegram, that was sent to the United States before World War II, letting us know that the extermination of the Jewish people had begun. So it's pretty heavy. I found out about HUC through my professor at UNCC. I studied Hebrew under Dr. John Reeves, and he was a brilliant man. Still is. He's still alive. And he spoke like 10 different languages. It was crazy. And I knew he graduated from HUC, and I wanted to get my PhD, so I decided to look into it and figured out I could study Second Temple Judaism, which is the period that Jesus lived, and early Christianity. So I thought it was a no-brainer. I also knew that studying here, I would get the best training in Hebrew that I could possibly get, given that it's a Jewish seminary. In fact, a lot of the Hebrew grammars out there, if you look at the authors, they're all HUC graduates. And so, you know, it being a Jewish institution, they just got such a good grasp on the Hebrew language. And it's just awesome to be immersed, you know, in the culture. So I'm going to take you guys now into the learning building where all my classes are. I love coming in here because you walk down the hallway and you got all these legends, intellectual giants that taught here, and it's pretty cool. I'll show you. On the other side there's a bunch more. Here they are, all of them. I call it the Wall of Legends. They've all passed on, but it's inspiring to walk through these hallways and then study here myself. It's a shame that more people don't know about Hebrew Union College, especially the Cincinnati campus, because this is where it all started. It's a historic institution. It really is. All right, now I'm going to take you guys into the chapel, which is dedicated to Dr. Nelson Glick, who some of you, if you're into biblical studies, you've probably heard of him before. World-renowned archaeologist. Did the benediction at JFK's inauguration. He knew the first Prime Minister of Israel and a bunch of other important guys. This is the chapel. This is the ark where they hold the Torah scrolls. Beautiful wooden hand-carved ark, which I believe is from the 1800s, and it was shipped over here before World War II. And it's the only existing ark of its kind from its region. I believe it's from Poland. It's really beautiful. If you're wondering why there's nobody here, it's because the campus is shut down for Shavuot, which us Christians know as Pentecost, when the Spirit of God descended upon humanity. and it obviously has, different Jews are celebrating for a different reason, but same Jewish festival. We'll go this way. I would take you guys into the museums, but I don't know if there's anyone working them, and there's so much in there that I would have to make a whole nother video to do it justice. We got the American Jewish Archives, as I told you. Then we got another one, which I'll show you here in a second. It's beautiful out. Cincinnati winter was rough, but now it's nice. The other museum is it's called the Scarborough Museum. Amazing stuff in there too. We have jars from Qumran in which the Dead Sea Scrolls were found. Actually, Hebrew Union College had we played a huge role in the publication of a lot of the Dead Sea Scrolls. So there's a rich history there too. Show you guys the front of the building. It's really nice looking. One thing I like about Cincinnati is there's a lot of old historic buildings, so it's very beautiful. We also got a consortium agreement with University of Cincinnati, Xavier University, so I'm able to study Greek in the classics department at the University of Cincinnati, which is top-notch classics program, so that's a awesome thing too. Here's the front of the Scarborough Museum. Isn't that nice? Beautiful. And when it comes to the New Testament, I'll probably take some classes at Xavier University, which is, Catholic university, but they got some really good scholars. A lot of the Jesus seminar guys are there, which, they're overly skeptical and, come to radical conclusions. But you know what? It's good to study under people like that, to know what the historians in the field are saying. And in order to be able to refute it, you got to know what evidence they're bringing to the table and how they're looking at the texts. So it's a good thing. That's another reason why I wanted to come to a regular academic institution as opposed to like a conservative Christian seminary, because it's a different kind of approach, and you really get into the nuance and the messiness of the history at a regular university. But like I said, it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing because I don't want a watered down view of history. I want to know the truth. What actually happened? How do we know? What sources do we have? How do we analyze those sources? And so on and so forth. All right, guys, I'm taking you now to Clow Library, which is probably the biggest asset studying here at HUC. I think it's closed, so I can't take you in there, but I'm sure you can imagine what's in there. Tons and tons and tons of books. When it comes to Judaic libraries, it's almost the best of its kind. There might be one that's more extensive in Israel, but it's pretty much the best Judaic library in the world. There's everything you could possibly imagine. Ancient manuscripts, ancient cuneiform, all types of good stuff. I'll have to do another video, bring you guys through a little tour through the library, because there's just amazing stuff in there. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's basically the whole campus. I appreciate everybody watching. I'll have more videos coming soon, I promise. I'm actually going to post some videos with a fellow rabbinical colleague, and I'm going to bring my knowledge of Second Temple Judaism. He's going to bring his knowledge of Rabbinic Judaism, and we're going to be looking at the historical Jesus through both of those lenses. So Hope you guys stay tuned, and I think everyone will enjoy it. And I appreciate everyone who's subscribed so far. And so thanks for watching, everybody. Have a blessed day. Take care.